Big game, Man City derby. Big game, Manchester derby happening on Saturday, that is tomorrow at the Old Trafford. And you know, it's supposed to be a revenge game. Not really going ahead to really revenge by beating them 6 as they did to us in the first leg of the season, but to go ahead and really get a result of 3 points. We need to shock City at Old Trafford, and I think Erik ten Hag is well prepared to see to it that he shocks this team of Man City as we get straight into this derby that has seen us really register very many wins, as I really show you here by a side known as BBC. They are really telling us that United have gone ahead. Where is it? They've showed us that United have gone ahead to win 24 games. City has won 18, 74 goals scored by United, 73 goals scored by Man City, and 18 clean sheets kept by United, 11 kept by Man City. We've played 51 Premier League games in between us, that is Manchester United and Man City. So it shows you how tight this game has always been, and it's one of the most widely awaited fixtures all over the world because it produces loads and loads and loads and loads of shocks. But Man City has shown us that it has scored 6 goals past us, I think, twice. I remember under Sir Alex Ferguson, they scored 6. They put 6 past us at Old Trafford, and it ended 6-1. Balotelli had a shirt inside his jersey that had "Why always me?" Then after that, in the first Man City derby of Erik ten Hag, we annihilated there by 6 goals to 3, and obviously that's so United really conceded 6 goals, 4 in the first half, and obviously we really looked helpless and toothless into that game of football. But I believe it's time and chance for us to go on and win revenge, because we are on the form of our lives, having not lost very many games ever since we lost against Aston Villa in, I think that was in November, not so all October. Welcome to United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. Rockman David is my name, and obviously we are into the match preview of Manchester United versus Manchester City. It's not going to be an easy one, though I believe United has an edge. First and foremost, we are at Old Trafford. Secondly, Casemiro is here. United is having a good manager that can really have best tactics to win the game of football. And you remember in the second half, when he brought on Casemiro, Anton Martial, everything changed. And it shows you that these players, if at all they are all available, we are going to see ourselves really giving Man City a game of their lives. Now, for Man City, they are only having one injured player, that is Ruben Dias, out with a hamstring injury. That's the only player they're really having that is really injured. The right back, the English guy, Walker has been really having an injury and issues, but yesterday he played in the game of Southampton. He played in the central defense, and he was really confirmed fully fit for the game of the Manchester derby. And I think he returns at a very perfect time when Marcus Rashford is really in almost the form of his life. And I've seen very many people insinuating that maybe Kyle Walker can stop Rashford, and let's wait and see how everything is going to go on and happen. But Kyle Walker is back. John Stones was expected to return, so the Man City team is all available. The Kanjis are available, meaning that they really have almost 4 or 5 central defenders fully fit. Akanji, Nathan Ake, and very many others. They are really fit to play this game of football. For United, the only people that are really out totally that you are not going to expect to play this game of football, one is Jadon Sancho. He is really training individually as he really continues to see to it that it boosts up his mental fitness and physical. Ten Hag is really telling us about that, but let's wait and see what is going to tell us tomorrow about Jadon Sancho. The other one that is out is Tuanzebe. He's having another huge injury. So, sorry, he's not having an injury. He's back on grass, but he's not expected to take part into the game of Manchester United versus a side called Man City. Then Diego Dallo went off. Diego Dallo went off with the knee. Sorry, Diego Dallo went off in the game we played against what's the team? Charlton. He played 36 minutes, walked off the field of play, but the manager told us that it was a precaution. Then Donny van de Beek, injured in the game of Bournemouth, long season injury, and we might not even see him return until next season. That is Donny van de Beek for you. But there are players that we are not even seen on the bench of United. That is Rashford Varane and Anton Martial. They never made the bench for the game of Charlton. The manager told us that he was resting them, meaning that they are fully fit and they are available. But in the photos of training today, we've not scouted Anton Martial there. Rashford Varane has been there. Bruno Fernandes returns, having not been part of the match squad against Charlton for having accumulated 2 yellow cards. He's really back to play into this game of football. So for Martial, I believe he's fit, because that would have been something that we would have already known and been told by the likes of Samuel Lucas. But he's training with the team. However, much in the photos is not out. I know he's training with the team and he's fully fit, and he has been rested ever since United played against Everton. I think, was it Everton? Burnley. I think it was Burnley. Everton. What was our last game? It was the FA Cup game against Burnley. Not so? Yeah, over the weekend we played against Burnley. We played, by the way, we played on Friday, and that's when Martial last played. He played close to 60 minutes and he was taken off. So the manager is really preparing him for the City derby. You know, he's really one of those players that comes in through and really scores against Man City. Now, let's get into the predicted 11 of United that most of you are really waiting for in here onto the United Matters channel, because we are really looking a good side with players available, and I think we are going to go ahead and really win this game of football. Now, the system, as usual, it's always a 4-2-3-1. That is a system that Erik ten Hag has really gone ahead to embark on, to see to it that he has really gone ahead to register very many wins in his spell at Old Trafford. Now, in goal, Tom Heaton came in through and did what he had to do against Charlton, but you don't expect Tom Heaton to come in through and do any job in the game against City. It goes direct down into your mind that it's going to be David De Gea. Butland, no way. If at all you cannot start against Charlton, then you cannot start in the biggest game of history in the city of Manchester. So that means David De Gea, with the experience that he's having, he deserves to be in goal in there for you. He's really improving a lot, and United is really going to offer him a new contract very, very soon, and told us that he wants to retire at Manchester United, meaning that he really wants to be here. And you know, the good thing with goalkeepers is they age like fine wine. The more they grow, the more they become better and really good. You saw Buffon, till the age of 41, 42, he was still a goalkeeper that was really promising and really up there in the world-class level. That is David De Gea playing as a goalkeeper for the side of Manchester United against Man City at Old Trafford. Then let's go to the right back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka came on and played close to 60 minutes against Charlton after Diego Dalot was really taken off. The manager told us that for Diego Dalot it was precautionary, but you're waiting to see whether it was precautionary. And tomorrow in the press conference, the manager will have a final say. But I believe Diego Dalot is fully fit and is going to come in and really start as a right back for Manchester United. And he has a lot of magic he comes in with at Old Trafford, especially when you're playing against City. Now, left back, a little bit tricky. Malacia plays very well. Luke Shaw, extraordinary and droppable. But some games, Luke Shaw has been played on the left side of the central defense, meaning that Ten Hag might think about to go on and really do that. But I believe the best position to suit him in this game of City is obviously the left back position in there for you, as you see. So that means Malacia is going to be benched and is going to make to the bench. Aaron Wan-Bissaka back onto the bench. Now, we are welcoming back Rashford Varane, having been rested. He never played any part in the game of Charlton, rested because the manager knows how important Rashford Varane is in that central defense. He's a leader, and he saw it that when he really walked off the field of play, we conceded 3 goals for Man City. However much we had conceded 1, but I don't believe that corner would have gone in when Varane was in. Even that third goal, he would have gone ahead to really stop it if at all he had not gotten that injury. But obviously, he walked off the field of play injured and went ahead to concede 5 more goals in his absentia. But I believe this time round, he's coming on the right side of the central defense to play for United and do the leadership role and command all that back 5 as a senior player who has been there for a very long time in the game of football. Then, on the left side of the central defense, there is Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, and there is Lisandro Martinez. I think the only player that can really put Lisandro Martinez out of the picture to start onto the left side of the central defense is Luke Shaw. But I believe Luke Shaw will help us a lot playing as a left back for United. Now I believe Lisandro Martinez, having played his first 90 full minutes ever since returned from Argentina after them winning the World Cup, I think is going to start another game at Old Trafford against Man City alongside Rafael Varane. And he is really a very good player, though he was really looking a little bit rusty. But I believe on any day, I bring my best back 5 as it is. That is the best back 5 of United. And when you're having Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez in central defense, you're 100% sure that it's hard for you to really concede goals that are really uncalled for. So that is the back 5 of United, and that's how I expect United to start. David De Gea, Dalot, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez, and Luke Shaw. That's it. Now let's go to the midfield. Let's go to the midfield area. That is the double pivot. There is a constant that you cannot even debate about. I think this is undebatable. That is a man who goes by names of Casemiro. I think for him, he's undebatable and he's untouchable. To me, he's the best CDM in the Premier League this season. No one comes near him. And it's hard for people to accept, especially Arsenal fans. I've seen them on several occasions comparing him with the Partey. But if at all your eye test is really working very well, you have to go out and really understand that it's really something that you could see with your naked eyes. It's no brainer that he's the best CDM in the world. It was evidenced even at City when he came on through in the second half. United went ahead to score 3 goals because the midfield battle had really been won by United with Freddie and Casemiro. Now let's go to the partner of Casemiro. I've heard very many people coming out and saying that we should go ahead and really put in Freddie to start. But I believe people are just over-respecting that midfield of Man City. You see, if at all Eriksen doesn't start this game of football, people will complain. And you see, this is what funny about football fans. If you bench Eriksen and Freddie comes in through and starts, and he has an ugly game, they'll say, why did Erik ten Hag have to start Freddie? Yet Eriksen is always a starter in that pivot with Casemiro. You see? But if at all you know the qualities that Eriksen really comes with on the field of play, I believe it's going to be him starting into the double pivot. Though people have really come a lot and said, Freddie played very well against Charlton. Bloody Charlton. Bloody Charlton. If at all you're playing against Everton and played very well, I'd have said, all right, this is the guy. But if at all the manager was not going to start Eriksen this game of football, it meant he would have started him with Freddie into that midfield. You get? Or he wouldn't have played Kobe Maino into the central attack midfield area. He would have played Eriksen there with Freddie and Scott McTominay playing in a double pivot. But because the guy has to start against Man City, he rested him and only played 29 minutes in the game of Charlton. That is Eriksen, and I believe Eriksen is coming in through to play alongside Casemiro in that double pivot as a box-to-box midfielder, with Casemiro playing as a CDM. And I believe in this game of football, Casemiro is going to be really so much observant on his moves. He's not going to commit himself a lot going forward, and he is going to try to really cover up on Eriksen a lot every time we really get the ball and we are progressing. I believe the progressive runs to effect the final third of the opponent are going to be masterminded by Eriksen. That's why this guy needs to start. And if I do remember very well, even in the game that we are losing 6-0 at City, at Etihad, Eriksen was left from the field of play, and I think he contributed in every goal that we scored. Those 3 goals we put ahead against Man City. So I believe there is no way Freddie comes into this picture. I see him coming on in this picture afterwards, but not to start this game of football. So Casemiro and Eriksen, I believe it's going to be a double pivot in this game of football. Then let's go to Bruno Fernandes, center attack midfielder. Obviously is going to return captaining the United side as a captain of United. And I think there is some luck with Bruno Fernandes having that armband, because on the field of play he's like a leader. He runs himself out like a headless chicken. But my worry has always been on him really doing sloppy passes, those flicks, Hollywood passes that are really uncalled for most of the times, that really lead United losing control of the game of football. That is something that really bothers me a lot every time I see him really go ahead and really go in for such things. But I believe he's improving as a player under Erik ten Hag, but we want to see him do more as a central attacking midfielder, because Kevin De Bruyne does that better than him. Even Odegaard does it better than him, to an extent that has been named the Premier League player of the months of December and November. So I believe he's coming back. He's 100% full. His batteries were recharged after he never played any single minute. After he never played no minute in the game of Charlton, because he had accumulated 2 yellow cards in 2 consecutive games we had played in the Carabao Cup. So that is Bruno Fernandes for you, comes into play into that position and is really looking great. And in such big games, he has never been a disappointment. That's it, especially when we are really in the right mode of form as we are right now. So that is Bruno for you. And for the right attack midfield, I believe it's going to be Anthony Santos, the Brazilian, who is really looking like he's trying to pick up his form and score goals for Manchester United. Obviously, I believe he's really one of those players that is exciting. He's one of those that you would love to watch. The eye test has passed it, though he has not yet really given us the cameos that he really produced at Ajax, but I believe scoring goals is the most important part of the game as a center forward. If at all you position yourself very well, then you score. And remember, he scored against City at Etihad. That was his, third goal of the season? Third goal of the season. And now, in the previous 2 games, he has gone ahead to get himself 2 goals. Against Everton, he scored in the 4th minute. Against Charlton, he broke the dreadlock into the 20th minute. Is he going to break the dreadlock again when you're playing City? Let's wait and see. But I'm seeing him really trying to really get his left foot on the line. So Anthony Santos is really going to be having a very good time, and he's going to be facing Cancelo of Man City. Let's really talk about the left back position, the most informed player at United alongside Casemiro. That is Marcus Rashford. Is expected to play on the left attacking side of the midfield of a team called United in this derby that is really going to be watched all over the world. So to me, Rashford acts better every time we are really having this team, especially the midfield of Bruno, Eriksen and Casemiro, and with this man leading the line known as Anton Martial. So I believe Rashford is going to be having a very good game, and I bet he's going to score against them. He's going to go all out and score against them, according to me, and I really believe it, and I see it with my naked eyes, because he has always done it when he's playing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a programmatic manager. Now, what of when he's playing under a decent manager known as Erik ten Hag? So I believe that's going to be the starting 11 of Manchester United, as you see it really roll onto the left side of the screen, because it is really having a very big impact onto us. So, players to watch of City. Haaland, to me, is the last person even to talk about in this video. To me, I believe you dysfunction Kevin De Bruyne and that midfield of Man City, then you are going to make it hard for Haaland to get the ball. You've seen it in the previous games. Even yesterday, they brought him on early enough, and he couldn't score a goal because the midfield was suffocated by those players of Southampton. Now, I'm asking myself, if Southampton can go ahead and really suffocate a side called City, why can't we do that? That is something easy for us to do, because we've ran a lot. We know what to do. We're having Casemiro, we're having Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez, we're having David De Gea. I believe we have every weapon to go ahead and really beat City at Old Trafford. And I'm going to be shocked if at all you don't get a result of a win. I think the worst result we should get against Man City is a draw. But 100% I see a win written all over this game, because Martial leading that line, doing the hold-up play, obviously he can hurt them a lot because City have a lot of pockets of space that they will leave behind when they are playing. Secondly, players like Casemiro, who have been sparing time to go ahead and even create what we call, they've been sparing time to go ahead and really even score goals and create assists for a team of Manchester United. You saw him against, was it Nottingham? He has an assist in that game. And recently in the game we played against Charlton that saw Marcus Rashford score a brace, Casemiro was 100% involved in those goals, meaning that his confidence is building a lot in the Premier League, and he's really saying, I'm here to really cement my legacy in the Premier League. So, I believe Mahrez is really going to be a threat onto the side of Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw needs to be so much observant. Jack Grealish, I think he's a joke. He's a joke totally in this game of football. I think Dalot or Wan-Bissaka, anyone who's going to start in that position should be having the right tools to really silence him and really put him in his pocket. Then Rodri versus Casemiro is a battle that we're going to see for, I think, another time. In the Champions League we saw it, and Madrid really won the battle and they went into the final of the Champions League. But I believe Casemiro is a far much better player than Rodri. There is nothing that Rodri does that Casemiro has not done for years, and he has proven it time and time again. That is a man known as Casemiro. So to me, 100% believe this game is for United to lose. We are having every weapon to really hurt that side of City, because Ten Hag is a brilliant manager. We can really try to play a possession game for like 10 minutes, and then we say, all right, let's sit back. We invite pressure, defend very well, and then hit them on the break using the pace of Anton Martial, Anthony, and Marcus Rashford. You get? We can also use set pieces to haunt them. That's why you've seen that Weghorst is going to arrive in Manchester, undergo his medical, and tomorrow they're submitting his papers to see to it that he's approved by the FA or the Premier League to be part of this game, because that's going to be another plan of the game. He comes in for like 10-15 minutes, we go in for set pieces, long balls, you get, because Man City are really bad when it comes to aerial balls. And you look at the goals they conceded against Southampton, it's really a City side that is really looking bad. I mean, look at City, they're really having a very bad run. I think they are a team that lost out on players like Gabriel Jesus. They lost out on Sterling, who could go ahead and really give them close to 60 goal involvements in total a season. But this time, they are relying on one player, Haaland. Now, if at all you want to really swamp Haaland out of this, make sure that Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne don't operate, especially Kevin De Bruyne, because Kevin De Bruyne affects the front three of Man City through the midfield with his killer instinct of that pass that always comes in through for every time that he's being called upon to go on and really do the needful for a side called Man City. So I believe we are winning this game of football, but let me take you through a little bit of what we call the stats that BBC has gone ahead to provide us with for a fixture of Manchester United versus a side called Man City. So we are being told by BBC that Manchester United have lost more Premier League home games against City than they have versus any other opponent, and we've lost 8 times at Old Trafford, while no side has beaten the Reds more often overall in the competition than City, 18, level with Chelsea and Liverpool. So it looks like this era of Pep Guardiola has gone ahead to break the dominancy of us into the city of Manchester. But even when Sir Alex Ferguson was here, it was not something easy for us to go ahead and really win. We used to win, but City really brought the game to us, even when they never had players that matched the quality of those at United, but they fought a lot. So I believe that spell of 10 years, ever since Alex Ferguson left, has really seen us City beat us on several occasions. And I think the only money that came in through and really gave City a game was was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I think he's the only man that's gone ahead to beat Pep Guardiola thrice. I remember he beat him to 1, 2-0, and I think 2-0 came in twice, and 2-1 came in once. Then even in the Carabao Cup, I think he beat him twice at Old Trafford. So I believe he's really one of those managers that's going ahead to beat him a lot, but it never really lasted and was really sacked from Manchester United. Then we are having another one. City are looking to complete the Premier League double over United for the 6th time, which would be more often than any other side in the competition's history. This is what we should stop. We shouldn't allow City to come here and beat us again for the 2nd time in a season for the 3rd time, meaning that they've done it 5 times, and now they wanted to do it the 6th time. This shouldn't be allowed at Old Trafford, and we should go ahead and really make City feel that Old Trafford is a fortress. Then we are having United have conceded 12 goals in their past 3 Premier League meetings with City, including 6 in their meeting at Etihad in October. It's as many as they would shipped against City in their previous 12 meetings combined. So it shows you that we've gone ahead to concede very many goals. 2 at Old Trafford under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 4 at Etihad under Ralf Rangnick, that is 6. 6 at Etihad alongside a man called Erik ten Hag, but I believe he really got to know what to do, and I think we can't concede again like that. And I believe a fixture will never go wrong again like that under Erik ten Hag. Now, United have conceded 12 goals in their past 3 meetings. Not really. We need to be having something here. It's all about Pep Guardiola. This will be Pep Guardiola's 500th game of his top flight managerial career. He has won 379 of his 499 games to date. Winning percentage of 76%, draws 68 and 52. So with this the most wins and best win rate, 100 games plus of any manager in Europe's Big 5 leagues since Guardiola's first top flight season in 2008-2009 at Barcelona. So it shows you that it's really his 500th game as a manager, but I believe that won't stop us from really wanting him. So guys, I'm going for a prediction of 1-0 or 2-1 win for United at Old Trafford, but we can even put 3 past them. I'm 100% sure, but we need to score them fast. The first goal is going to be important in this game because you score City, they open up, you sit back, you hit them on the break, you give yourself a 2-goal lead. They'll continue attacking, then you sit back, hit them on the break again, put yourself in a comfortable position, because I believe that's the way to go to really haunt a side known as Man City. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Rokan David remains my name. What is your prediction? Who do you think should start into the starting 11 of Manchester United, and who do you think shouldn't be starting according to what I've really gone ahead to give you as a hint of the predicted starting 11 of Manchester United? May the metal bless you abundantly. I sign out for now, and if at all Varghose arrives in Manchester for medical, I'll return in the next 1 or 2 hours. I'm out.